My background is Lisp first, then VBA, and then into .NET. So hopefully I'll be able to help you guys avoid some of the challenges and pitfalls I ran into. What we're going to look at is how to create a .NET project, and Autodesk has made this quite easy now with the templates. Everybody can hear me okay, right? Yeah, good. With the templates, so we're going to look at some of the settings with the templates that they have. The handout, which I do believe is online, has all the links for where to download those templates. Then we're going to look at building a .NET AutoCAD command. Since AutoCAD Civil 3D is built on top of AutoCAD, we have to use the .NET API as well as the Civil 3D .NET API. So we're going to look at some of the AutoCAD API that we have to use, and then interact with the Civil 3D .NET API, and then hopefully we'll have time to look at the deployment methods. Because once you build it, you still then have to get it out to the users and get it loaded automatically for the users. So that's what we're going to look at. We're going to start by creating a .NET project. I'm using Visual Studio 2010. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a new project. And because I've downloaded those templates from Autodesk, when I fire up new project, it has in the little section there under Autodesk, I have the 2010 through 12 template as well as 2013. So it has two different ones, and I can just choose which application I want to build or a plugin. So keep in mind for 13, some of the underlying references that you need are different. So that's why you have two different plugins. So if you're doing something for 2012, you'll want to download both and get the right template. But all it's doing is going to set up a few things for us behind the scenes, and we'll take a look at what it's setting up for us. But I'm just going to choose the AutoCAD 2013 plugin, make sure I'm using the right framework, which is 4 for 13. And that should be all default for you guys once you fire this up. And name my project and click OK. When I do that, this template from Autodesk has this little wizard that walks us through it. And I specify the location of where the DLLs that it needs. Ones up there. AutoCAD, plain AutoCAD needs 3 DLLs. DLLs and assemblies are the same thing. Okay? So whenever I use that word, I'm kind of using it interchangeably. DLL is the file that contains the assemblies. Okay? So it has 3 DLLs that it needs to work to build something for AutoCAD in .NET. AC DB MGD, AC MGD, and now in 13, AC Core MGD. Where are those located? Well, you could go browse or do a search for it, but I encourage you to download, again, the ObjectARX SDK from Autodesk's website. Again, the handout has the link. Okay? When you do that, this gives you a little bit more debugging control. And when you download that, it's an installer. It says, okay, where do you want to place these files? It's just a bunch of files and documents. I placed them in this folder, and then I just, using the browse button here, browse to the INC folder. That folder is where those 3 files are. ACDBMGD, ACMGD, and so on. Then I specify the AutoCAD executable location. That's the ACAD.exe that we're going to use when we debug. So when we're going to debug this program, we fire we fire it up. It starts the external application. The external application in this case is AutoCAD. Okay, well, where is the AutoCAD executable to start? So I did that, set the location, and it read that it must be Civil 3D that I'm trying to use, so there might be other assemblies. So the 3 that are grayed out are required for AutoCAD. But we're here in a class talking about the Civil 3D.NET API. 2 more are required for Civil 3D. The 2 top ones that you see that are labeled MGD, MGD is managed. It's another way of saying .NET. Nice, clean .NET. Okay? So those are the 2 that we are required to have to reference into our application. When we reference these in, then we can use these calls, this programming interface, to interact or work with Civil 3D or AutoCAD. We can write our programs. So we need those referenced into our application, and we just check those boxes. Because it's not sure if we want to do map as well, it has an additional tab and automatically checks for us what is required for map. I don't want map. Don't care about map in this case. I'm going to clear those and click OK. It builds me a new project. And over here on my Solutions Explorer, the little palette here, I have my project named AU, and it built me two classes here. And just so that we don't cheat, I'm going to delete these classes. I can shut that off. I'm going to go ahead into our project properties by right-clicking in Solutions Explorer. I just right-clicked and said properties. And here are all the properties for this application. So the assembly name, assembly is interchangeable with DLL. So the assembly name is going to be the same name of the file. When we compile this, it's going to create an au.dll file for us. And it's going to contain all the programming that we're writing, that code. So we can just reference or load that in. So that's the assembly name. It's by default going to be the same name as the project. And it's good practice to kind of keep it the same. Root namespace we're going to get into a little bit more in detail as we get farther into our code. But think of namespace kind of like directories. When you are organizing a bunch of files for a project, everybody have like directory templates that they're required to use in their company? You have to follow this specific type of structure. It's so that you can organize everything properly for the projects you're working in. Namespace is simply a way to try to organize all the kinds of methods and properties and functions and routines and classes and all this stuff that we could build. And so it's going to have a namespace for the entire project, and then we could even do other namespaces kind of as we get farther in. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at or calling from Autodesk namespaces. And so we're going to see how that comes into play. A lot of times on the projects I build, for the entire project, I'm going to have a namespace that's going to be my company name. So we'll say that our company name is AU, and because this application is built specifically for Civil 3D, meaning all the tools I'm about to build in this project are for Civil 3D, I'm going to add an additional .Civil 3D. What that does is it's going to organize or kind of create an additional directory, we could say, and everything within this project now is going to be stored in my company, Civil 3D. This is useful because we could build